Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're diving straight into a really fascinating and honestly incredibly relatable financial paradox today. It's that dream scenario we all think about, but when it actually happens, it totally blindsides people. We're talking about the paradox of the six-figure salary. Let's get right into it and unpack exactly how making more money can, weirdly enough, lead to having less.
I know, it sounds completely counterintuitive, right? Like, how on earth does doubling your salary make you broke? Well, to make sense of this, let's look at the protagonist from our source material. We'll call him Mike. Now, Mike spent years, literally years, fantasizing about hitting that magical six-figure mark. He put in the grueling hours, he did the heavy lifting, and finally, boom, it happened. Mike scored a massive promotion. Almost overnight, his salary essentially doubled. He was suddenly pulling in twice as much cash as he ever had before.
And, just like anyone who gets a massive bump in pay, Mike had the absolute best of intentions. He made a really solid promise to himself. I'll finally start investing. He knew this was his golden ticket. This huge raise was going to be the exact tool he needed to build real, long-term wealth. He was going to be super smart about the whole shebang. But, well, life happened. First, he just decided he needed a few little upgrades.
Part 1. The upgrade trap. The quiet creep of spending.
See, the money didn't just vanish all at once. It was this quiet, super gradual progression. Month 1, right after the big promotion, he upgrades his apartment. Nothing crazy, just a slightly nicer place. By month 3, well, he decides he kind of needs a nicer car to match this new professional status, right? And obviously some fresh furniture for that upgraded apartment. Fast forward to month 6, and the creep hits those everyday things. Premium streaming subscriptions, eating out at way better, pricier restaurants. And by month 12, he's booking those really expensive, top-tier vacations. It's just this steady, relentless progression over one single year.
So what's actually going on in his head here? Well, to Mike, not a single one of these purchases felt crazy or out of line. It's not like he was out there buying private jets or solid gold watches. Every single upgrade just felt deserved. After all, he busted his tail for years to get to this level, right? In his mind, all that hard work absolutely justified the reward. And honestly, when you look at each purchase totally in isolation, it's really easy to agree with him.
Part 2. The empty bank account 1 year later. All right, so Mike checks his bank account exactly 12 months later, and this is what he finds. Pretty much nothing. Literally $0 in meaningful savings. Despite pulling down a six-figure salary, there is no investment portfolio whatsoever. No safety net. Heck, he doesn't even have a basic emergency fund. Every single cent of that extra money from his doubled salary was completely swallowed up by a shiny new lifestyle. He's right back exactly where he started financially, just sitting on much nicer furniture. And man, this just brilliantly captures the ultimate paradox here. He scored this massive, life-changing win. His income literally doubled. But the really painful truth? His financial stress didn't change one bit. Why? Because instead of building up a safety net or generating actual wealth, he just built way bigger monthly bills. He still has to sweat over making rent, hitting that hefty car payment, and paying off the credit cards from those luxury vacations. He's got twice the money coming in, sure, but the exact same amount of anxiety keeping him up at night. Part 3. Defining lifestyle inflation, the silent wealth killer. So, what's the actual diagnosis here? It's called lifestyle inflation, which basically means that as your income goes up, your expenses just quietly rise right along with it. And the absolute keyword here is quietly. Because each individual upgrade feels so tiny and so completely justified, a slightly nicer apartment, maybe a better restaurant on a Friday night. You don't even notice that you're actively constructing a vastly more expensive life. You think you're just enjoying the fruits of your labor, but what you're actually doing is inflating your baseline cost of living until it eats your entire new paycheck.
Part 4. The Wealth Gap Solution, Fixing the Formula.
Okay, so how do we actually fix this trap? Well, it requires a total mindset shift. You see, most people genuinely believe wealth is created just by making more money. But as Mike just proved to us, that's a total myth. He made way more and he ended up with zero. True wealth has nothing to do with your top-line revenue. It's actually created by maintaining the gap between what you earn and what you spend. If you earn more but you spend equally more, well, the gap is zero. You have to actively maintain that gap, both mathematically and psychologically, if you actually want to build wealth.
Let's compare Mike's reality with a totally different approach. Mike bought a bigger lifestyle and, as we saw, basically stayed broke.
But imagine if he just tweaked the formula a bit. What if, with every single raise, he automatically invested half of it? Just think about the math there for a second. He still gets to enjoy a better lifestyle with the other half, right? He still gets his reward. But by automatically investing the rest, every promotion wouldn't just be buying him nicer things. It would literally be buying him long-term financial freedom. So the absolutely crucial point I want you to take away from this explainer is this. Your paycheck can theoretically grow forever. You could land promotion after promotion, doubling, tripling your salary over your career, but if your lifestyle grows just as fast as your income, you are always going to feel broke. A growing paycheck means absolutely nothing if your expenses just grow right alongside to match it.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty personal question based on everything we've just covered. If your salary magically doubled tomorrow, what is the very first thing you'd buy? Honestly, would you fall right into the upgrade trap, or would you focus on widening that wealth gap? I really want you to be honest with yourself on this one. And hey, feel free to drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to hit subscribe for more of these money lessons. They really can change your financial future. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.